Evening, world. It's 11 o'clock on September 26th. The end of the first 2016 presidential debate. I just wanted to, share my thoughts. Might as well do it now while it's still fresh, right? First off, you got to admit, if you haven't paid attention to the fact, I'm not a big fan of hers at all, and I'm not voting for her, but this is the first time in American history we've had a female, I start to say contestant, a female contestant. We've had a female on the stage as the potential president of the United States. So regardless of my personal feelings for Hillary, it's just, it's neat that it happened and that we got to see it. I took notes on my phone as I was just going through the debate. So if you see me refer to it, it's not that I'm like texting while talking. I'm not that millennial yet. But just some notes on the debate tonight and things I wanted to bring up for speaking points. But overall, man, if you watch that, as a guy that is forced to choose between the two, I'm going to say I'm a Republican more than I'm going to say I'm a Democrat, although I disagree with certain policies of both parties. And I'm not going to get to the argument of why I shouldn't be a libertarian or independent, besides the fact that they can't win. I'll just say I guess I am a Republican, although not a staunch one. I got to admit, Donald, dude, you got nailed tonight, all right? Tonight, Hillary Clinton showed what 3 decades of being a professional politician brings to the stage. She brought class. I don't even like her. I don't like saying nice things about her. So this is difficult for me, and it's your fault. Stop it. Don't make me do this anymore, all right? She brought class to the stage. She plastered on a smile, and even though you can tell it was plastered, she left it there, sometimes exceedingly painfully long, while he just hammered her about nonsense. Her jabs were few, but they were pointed and they hit hard. In fact, they got a response from the audience almost every time, which of course the commentator was quick to go, "Hey, y'all, hush. You promised to hush, but you didn't." So just on some of the talking points, stop and frisk. That was talked about a lot tonight. Stop and frisk was ruled unconstitutional. In that regard, Donald's got a point. Assuming those numbers are correct, and I'm sure fact checkers are going to be trying to work overtime tonight, but 4,000 people in just Chicago alone. That was a town they just chose to bring up. But if 4,000 people have been killed, and stop and frisk could have dropped that by 3/4, which is the effect it had in New York City, whether or not it was the right thing. They said it unfairly targeted minorities. And I can't help but think it's just a guy sitting here at home. Well, if 75% of those homicides are in minorities or among minorities, be it black or Hispanic, then it's not actually unfair. It's not racial profiling. It's just what is actually happening. It's reality. If stop and frisk drops crime by 75% in a given, drops the homicide rate in a given area by 75%, and it's targeting a certain demographic, be it black, Hispanic, whatever that may be, but it's working, that tells you that 75% of those murders were happening with blacks and Hispanics. And in those, they keep saying inner cities. Does anyone actually know a white inner city? That's a nice political word for place with a high black population. That's what inner city means. I don't think anybody's ever actually said inner city referring to a bunch of white kids playing barefoot in a Central Park. It's just not what they mean. But nobody wants to say it. And I'm not trying to sling hash for black against black, a minority. I didn't hide my Klan flag earlier. I'm not a racist by any means. But forget the constitutionality of it for a moment. If people are killing people, doesn't matter what color they are, and that's the people you have to go after. I would guess in southern Louisiana, it would be predominantly, well, no, I really can't. You know what? I don't know anything about southern Louisiana, so I guess I shouldn't say that. But in inner city Chicago, inner city New York, if crime statistics state that there's a lot of black on black killing, the issue isn't with white people and guns, or cops and black people. It's with black people on black people. So yeah, we need to figure out a solution for that. Maybe stop and frisk worked, maybe it didn't. Maybe we should do something to let the states decide on attempted policies. Maybe we should let Chicago have not free reign, but the independence to pursue strategies without banging the gavel on them as soon as they open the gate. Maybe that's what's needed. Why does my camera keep refocusing? I have no idea. I'm over here. Focus here. Here. There you go. Stop it. There you go. All right. Tax returns. Donald, dude, brother, give them up. Okay? My lawyer said, shut up. Every other presidential candidate in American history has given up his IRS tax returns, apparently. You're the only schmuck that hasn't. Don't be a douche. We know you made a ton of money. We know you're greedy. That's why you're rich. That's okay. People like me aren't voting against you for that. And people like me aren't going to hold that against you. In fact, that's one of the few things you have going for you. You're a greedy rich capitalist that seems to know business pretty well. So just suck it up and give them out. All right? It'll make the whole conversation go away. And quite frankly, I got to admit, this close to deciding whether or not you're going to be my president, I deserve to know. As a voter who's actually probably going to vote for you, I deserve to know. Vibrancy of the black church. That was a line that Hillary quoted or said, talking about the great things about black communities, and you just had to resort to the vibrancy of the black church. That just popped out. That had to be like a phrase you guys talked about in pre-debate planning. I'm going to use vibrancy and church and black in the same sentence. That's what I'm going to do. That was that was bad. The gun thing, again, a big reason I'm not voting Hillary 2016 here. You talked about having, and I quote, military-style weapons on the streets. For those of you out there that think this is true, believe this, or are buying into it, here's a news flash. There are no military-style weapons on the streets. None. Like zero. It's like less than 1% of gun crimes are committed with military-style weapons. Military-style weapons are things like the M4 that are fully automatic weapons that fire with one pull of the trigger. They'll dump their magazine. These things that you're talking about, and I like how she says military-style. If you mean guns that look like the M4 because they're black and you can put stuff on them, then yes, you're referring to the AR-15 or the AR-10 or the the 300 Blackout. These aren't military-style weapons, and these aren't what the majority of crimes are being committed with. That's just the case. I'm sorry, that's a fact. Most crimes aren't committed with AR-15s. Most gun crimes are committed with handguns. So just drop that one. I think Donald actually let that one kind of go. Thank you, Donald. As far as the terrorist watch list, I'm kind of cool with the policy, and I can't believe nobody's coined it. Maybe they have, too dangerous to fly, too dangerous to buy. That makes sense to me. If you're on a terrorist watch list, your ass shouldn't have guns. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm glad you both are cool with that. I actually thought that was going to be a point of contention somewhere, but it was not. But it was worth bringing up. And Donald, dude, don't hammer Hillary on stuff unless your debate team has adequately prepared you for what she's going to come back with. Because every time you try to hit her with a sharp, witty, pointed comment, she threw it right back at you and nailed you with it. You commented about how, I went to Detroit, and I went to Michigan, and I went here, and I went there, and you stayed home, and that's okay. Her response was, I did, and I prepared for these presidential debates. And the crowd literally cheered her for that. Don't attack Hillary with snide comments if you're not prepared for the answer she's going to give, because tonight you weren't prepared for the answer she was going to give. Birth certificate. Really? We're having this discussion. Seriously. You think anyone in the United States right now gives a tinkerer's darn about Barack Obama's birth certificate? You think that's what's on our collective minds is whether or not you believe Barack Obama is an American citizen. The fact that we even wasted a couple seconds of national airtime, international airtime tonight. Leaders of foreign countries literally went, "Oh God," tonight themselves. They saw that and went, "Oh, this is what happens in America? Wow. You're making us all look bad." Just drop that conversation. Unfortunately, he's an American. We're stuck with it. Trump, dude, again, you're the candidate I'm most likely to vote for in this whole thing. So stop being stupid. The whole I've been endorsed by it. Like interrupting the commentator or Hillary to go, well, I've been endorsed by this, and I've been endorsed by 200 generals and 4 admirals and 13 Girl Scouts and 5, Cabbage Patch Kids. Who cares? We don't. You sound like an ass when you say stuff like that. All right? Yes, it's good. We know it. Let us find out on our own. That's the kind of thing that it looks great when other people say it, but when you pat your back, yourself on the back so hard, your arm just gets cramped and it's stuck here, you look kind of stupid. And that's what you're doing. Stop patting yourself on the back so damn hard and just pretend for a moment that you have the capability to be presidential. Because at this point, whether I like it or not, you're likely my candidate, and I would love to see something from you besides this all the time. It's like the back fappening. Can I say that on YouTube? The fappening? Back fappening? Yeah. Donald Trump equals back fappening. Thank you. Okay, so we got to the cyber threats, and Hillary jumped on that. Well, we're not going to sit idly by and have our American secrets stolen by foreign states. I'm sorry, where have you been since the invention of the internet? I mean, seriously, for the last decade, easily. In fact, the most common, and this is factual, you guys can fact check it since that's just the thing of the day. The most common way our government finds out about hacks against our government from foreign governments is because private companies are actually telling them, hey, by the way, we were paid $200 million by so-and-so firm to investigate this, and while we're here, we found China in this backdoor system and that backdoor system, and by the way, somebody just hacked the NSA. Whoops. Sorry. So, Hillary, on that one, you're full of crap. We've been having our secrets stolen for over a decade. A new device, a new technological feat comes out in New York in June. Boom, it's copied in China in July. You think they just live in a parallel dimension where they happen to develop the same technology side by side? No, they're stealing our stuff, man. So stop it. But this brings up a good point, and it's kind of a philosophical point. I don't want to get too deep here, but both of you think that America needs to step up its cyber defense programs, which we as civilians probably tend to agree that yes, as a country, our cyber defense sucks. Our power grid is a huge target. Our banking system, financial system is a huge target. Our energy system is a huge target. Okay, fine. The problem is, for example, China. I'll use them as an example. They're a communist dictatorship. Their government says, hack the U.S., and people go, okay, and then they do it. Or they go, okay, and they do it. Here, we don't hack China. That's just rude. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to pretend it doesn't happen. But we know you try to constantly, and Russia and every other country. Hell, you got busted for spying on like UK, France, Japan, pissed them all off when Snowden revealed it. Truth is, they should have expected it. I'm sure they did expect it. They just didn't like being called along the carpet because they got found out. We spy on everybody. They spy on us too. It happens. Nobody's saying that doesn't happen. The problem is, we as an American people can't trust you, our government, to actually develop a comprehensive response to cyber threats because we don't trust you. If Snowden revealed anything, it was that when you do develop stuff, you use it against us, which is a no-no. So if we can't trust you to not spy on us, you really think that we're going to advocate you developing new technology to spy on other people? Or do you think tech companies are going to want to come on board when the DOJ does things like they tried to do with Apple? You think you're ingratiating yourself to big tech when you try and force companies to do things? No, they hate you, and rightly so. But on the other hand, we know we can't have a civilian-run agency or cyber defense agency because, we've all seen Terminator. That's how Skynet got started. But, and I'm serious, that would happen. You can't have some civilian agency that go, hey, you know what? We're a for-profit company and we'll just stop all the hacking for you. Just trust us. Well, that would never fly. And quite frankly, if we did, who would stop to be sure they weren't being hacked? And how would they get the right talent? And so, it truly is a huge, huge conundrum as to what we're going to do. And I don't know what the answer is. I really have no idea, but I would love to actually hear some debate on it, some serious debate, not tinfoil hat debate, in case you're, preparing to type your comments in Facebook. Yeah, I pretty much just said that. All right, good. Donald, your best quality is your winning temperament. Do you see my ironic face here? Temperament. Your temperament is horrible, sir. Hillary, for all I dislike about her, tonight, her temperament was on point. She handled herself well. You interrupted the anchor non-stop. Literally the entire last hour. I don't think you got off point on time once. You cut him off. You rose to every little bait she threw at you. I mean, she'd throw it out there. You'd snap at it. You bit it every time. Your temperament tonight was not presidential. Just FYI, bro. By far, one of the best things Hillary got out there tonight was right after Donald laid into his, well, we can't afford to defend Japan for free, Germany for free, South Korea for free. Which is true, by the way. I mean, we can't. We actually can't keep doing that. And we don't do it for free, but we do it for dang near free. We pretty much police our allies and give them the manpower and the weapons and provide the equipment and pay to have it built and pay to have it shipped over there and pay to have it operated so they don't have to develop their own stuff. So the idea is we'll defend you. Don't worry about building your own nukes because we have ours to watch your back. Problem is they aren't paying for it. So in that regard, he's right. He's very much right, and it's one of the major points that one of the major reasons I tend to be in his camp. But Hillary just nailed that coffin lid shut tonight when she came out with the, heartened response to the prime ministers of Japan and Korea and our European and NATO allies that we'll honor our weapons and defense agreements and we have mutual aid pacts and we're going to stand by them. I mean, she sounded legitimately like I'm the actual president saying, don't worry about this guy, we'll handle this. So another point for Hillary. It's like 3 Hillary, Donald, nil. Bad. But Hillary Clinton did. I mean, that was a Picasso of a move. But again, Donald's right. We can't afford to keep protecting these countries for no cost. We're hemorrhaging money. Our country is beyond going broke. It is broke. It's been broke since almost the year I was born. We literally have no money. Everything we do is borrowed, and we just keep increasing the amount that we're borrowing. So we do have to have some major change. And final question, what the hell? Final question, are you willing to accept the outcome as the will of the public? As opposed to what? Start a coup? What was that question for? Why did you even throw that? Like, did you just need a 27th question or have me nowhere? Like, I need something else. Hey, if she wins, will you support her? Like he was going to go, no, I'm going to leave and start the United States of Trumpism off the coast of Cuba. That was a dumb question, and you shouldn't have wasted your TV audience's time. Surely there was something more important that you could say. For those of y'all that didn't watch, you probably haven't watched 19 minutes of this yet either. So I'm talking to like 4 people out there. So hey, Bruce and Jill and other random people who are friends of mine on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube that probably got this far. Thanks for watching. short recap, tonight's debate was a primer. I hope, it's just kind of like the first round of a boxing match. And I hope Trump goes back to his corner with his nose bloodied and his eyes swole shut, kind of like, Rocky and, Rocky, And his coach gets his head straight, because if you do that again in round 2, she's going to nail you in December. And she'll flatten you out in round 3. So that was bad. Now, the cool thing is going to be, even as and I use this word hesitantly, Trump supporter, let me use the quotes there. Trump is known for just being able to win even when you know he's lost. So I'm very interested to see, and that's why I wanted to make this video now before I could have my opinion skewed or biased. I think Hillary won that debate, hands down. I mean, like, if there was a score, it'd be like 7-1. And I'm just saying 1 because he had to get something in there somewhere. Pretty much we can't pay for our allied defense for free. That was your 1 point. But even that, she turned against you. But I'm curious to see what the actual results are going to be amongst the polls, because Trump has a wickedly unique habit of coming out on top even when you think he's lost. So don't know. Can't really predict it yet. Anyway, that's my post-debate follow-up, September 26, 2016. It's Tommy Jordan. I'm signing off. My new mic. Y'all like that? I play with the camera setting, so I decided black and white was cool tonight. I'm kind of digging this. I may do this more often. Got anything else you want to see me do a video on? I've got the new hardware. It's a good chance to play with some of it. So put something in the comments. I'll try to get around to reading it soon. Later.